are a tough act to follow. But on another note,
Sure.
today I'm president of the Estero Island Garden Club, and we are so proud today to be unveiling the Blue Star Memorial Marker at the library on Fort Myers Beach. This has been a long time coming for us. It initially was started in 2019 when we had a very generous donation from one of our members. Her family, the Ashford family, is so very generous, donating to many charities. And when it was introduced to them, the idea of having something to really honor veterans really hit home for them. Tom Ashford was 20 months old when his father was shot down in World War II. So when we brought this up, this was something that was very close to the heart of the family. And because of COVID, it took quite a while to get this going. And we're just so happy to be able to do this a week before Memorial Day. We've got a great program scheduled, and we're very, very proud of all of our veterans and all of the people that have really supported this. And it's just been a lot of work, but we feel that on Fort Myers Beach we needed to have something. And so these memorials that we put up are really specific for civic areas like parks and libraries and also in cemeteries. And so it's a bit different than the highway memorials, which we have throughout the state and throughout the country. So it's just something that in, I think it was 1996, they decided to expand this program, and this is the program that we chose to participate in.
And can you tell us a little bit about the Blue Star program?
Right. The Blue Star program actually started during World War I and World War II, where the Blue Star was put on the service flags. And so often businesses or families that had loved ones that were in the war would post that on their windows or in their storefronts. And so that's where the idea came from. And it was initially to honor the World War II veterans. And then, of course, from there it was expanded. And again, initially it was for highways. US 1 in Florida was the first highway in Florida. That was a Blue Star highway. And since then we've got several others that are throughout the state. But that's kind of where the idea generated from. And so we carry it on to this day. The National Garden Club wanted to pick up on this, and so they started promoting it through the country through garden clubs, which Estero Island was a member of the National Garden Club. And so that's kind of how we got started. There's already two in Fort Myers. There's one at the train station that's in downtown Fort Myers, and one near Page Field. And I think those sites were chosen because a lot of the fighter pilots and other service people were coming into the train station as they were coming in for training. So that is a spot that the Garden Club wanted to have something commemorating that. And then Page Field, where they did a lot of training. So that is the other area in Fort Myers that we have. And now the third one is going to be Fort Myers Beach at the Fort Myers Beach Library.
And I want to thank everybody for letting us know that the sound was a little bit off, so I fixed it, and I hope everybody can hear okay. I don't know if anybody heard me at the beginning, but maybe it's a good thing that they didn't hear me at the beginning. So what's the agenda like later today when you guys get down there? I know it starts right at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we start at 10 o'clock. We have the brass music ensemble that is going to be opening with a song for us, God Bless America. We have our hosts. Our hosts are the donators of the money for this, Pokey and Tom Ashford. We're hoping to see Mayor Murphy to give a welcome. We are being joined by the Cypress Lake ROTC, and they're going to be posting the colors as well as retiring the colors through the program. We will have the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and invocation by Dr. John Adler from St. Raphael's. And then we have some very special guests that are joining us from the Florida Federation. And one of them is Rosita Aristov, who is going to be giving us the history of the Blue Star marker. She will be sharing that with everyone. We will be having an unveiling of the marker by Rosita and Carolyn Lowry Nation, who is also a member of the Florida Federation of Garden Clubs. And we are also delighted to have the new president, Marge Hendren, who's going to be with us. And then we will be accepting the marker from the garden club and the library and continuing with the remaining part of the program, which is going to be tributes of flowers, a benediction, and some echoing taps, and following with some hospitality at the end.
Very nice. What's the hospitality?
The hospitality are some drinks and some very beautiful flag
Very
decorated
nice.
cookies.
So
we welcome everybody.
We have a couple of veterans that are here. Forrest Critser is here, and also Wayne Edson is here. We're going to talk to them. I love talking to veterans. It's awesome, and we know that you have to go and get down and organize. Anything that you missed or you want to make sure that we bring up?
No, just that anybody's listening, please come and join us 10 o'clock at the library, and we are just so happy to honor all our veterans. Thank you all. We really appreciate all that you've done.
For sure.
And I want to thank you for bringing down that wonderful book and giving it to Ed and I on shade trees. Is that correct?
Right, from the Estero Island Garden Club. Yes. So,
Yes.
so you can do a little reading on the
All right.
trees.
And
of
you know
Fort Myers
what?
Beach.
Give people just where they can find more about the Estero Island Garden Clubs in case they want to get involved with things like this.
We just have a website. You just type in Estero Island Garden Club, our group online, and there is information on joining and all our programs. Very simple.
Thank you, Paula. How
Great.
about a big hand for Paula, everybody?
Yes, thank you for wading
Yes.
through too.
Live studio audience here in the square. I don't know if everything I said at the beginning, did that not go out? I don't know if any of it
No,
went
I
out. It's
think-
probably a good
I
thing
think
if
it
it
hurt-
didn't
it
go
went
out.
out.
I was rambling, gambling man there. So.
No, I think it
All
was
right.
good that it went
Have a
out.
seat, Wayne and Forrest Critser, two
ahead, have a
local
seat.
veterans. Love having veterans on. Wayne, how are you, man? How's it going?
Good.
Let me turn your mic on. I'm not really good with the audio today. Everybody knows Forrest, Wayne. Looking forward to the ceremony today. It's going to be really cool. So, how are you guys doing? Wayne, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Forrest, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. Thanks for having us.
So, Wayne, tell us a little bit about your service.
Well, I was a child of the 50s and 60s, and I signed up in the end of 64 and spent 8 years in the military. Enjoyed most of it. Did it because I grew up in the John Wayne era, and all of our parents were veterans, and it was considered a high honor back in 64 to join the military.
And you went to Vietnam?
Yes.
And how many years were you over there?
I did 3 trips.
You know, one of the things that that I always felt like was that when the guys came back from Vietnam, they really didn't get the recognition they should have. But it seemed like in the past few years or so, it's kind of changed. Is that true?
Yes, I believe we treat our veterans with respect now, which is something we didn't do back then. Back then, our veterans were considered to be traitors to the youth of the country. Nowadays, I believe we hold them in much higher esteem.
Forrest, what about you? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and I had same situation. That war was it was a police action to some people. Of course, if you was over there, you didn't know what was actually going on in the States with all the protesting and the crazy stuff going on. But it was a camaraderie of a veteran. I was asked to serve. I was drafted, went to Fort Knox in the Army. I was in the 4th Infantry Division, and this is a short program, so that's a short synopsis of what I did. But I do remember coming home, and I came home 2 weeks early because I had a lieutenant that wanted a couple of cases of chicken. So I traded chicken for orders.
They wanted a
And
couple
got
of
it.
cases of chicken. What do you mean?
Yeah, I was in Company B, 4th Infantry Division, and I was assigned to driving instead of carrying an M16 because I had my military driver's license, and we issued food to the outlying fire stations and fire posts and and they would come in and get the food from us. And the lieutenant wanted to have a party one night, and he said, Critser, you're in supply. I said, yes, sir. He says, I want to have a cookout. I said, you do? I want to go home early. How about that?
Nice.
So I traded him some chicken to come home 2 weeks early out of Vietnam.
When we were able to trade anything to come home early?
I was in the Navy, and we had a lot of things we traded. We called it cumshaw.
Do you guys stay in touch with the folks that are still alive? Do you stay in touch with the folks that you served with? You tried to, or is it just it didn't turn out that way?
When I came home, the society shunned me.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically became embarrassed of your service and tried to distance yourself from it. I got home, landed in San Diego, immediately went to the airport and took a plane to Chicago, got off the plane in O'Hare Airport. I got spit on twice.
Really?
3 people asked me, how many babies did you kill today? Well, after that experience, you learn not to try to associate yourself with veterans.
It's crazy. It's not like you volunteered to go over there. You were forced to go over there, or you're made to go over there. It was part of the deal.
I volunteered to join the military.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Once you're in the military, you have signed a blank check payable to the United States for anything and everything up to and including your life.
Yeah. Did they pay for your college days back then, or did that start after Vietnam?
No, that started at World War II.
Okay. So
and
World War II was before Vietnam, right? I'm not good with math.
I'm old, but I'm not that old.
So what are you doing now, Wayne?
I'm retired, living in Fort Myers Beach.
Isn't that nice? Isn't this the greatest place on the planet? Like, the weather's always nice and great people, and they're going to have a nice ceremony for you guys today. There needs to be more than that. And I know, Forrest, you're working on something. So do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, several years on the beach and in politics and what have you, I saw a need for a tribute to veterans in general, and was working with that with different committees in town council. And now this new town council has graciously to come to our rescue to make something at Bayside Park for a tribute to all veterans. So we're currently in organization now with, I started in January, but was not able to be very successful because of the COVID. But now we're getting out, and I do appreciate Beach Talk Radio and all that you do for our community. And I want to tell you real quick, though, that, I was proud to serve for my nation. And people say, well, what do you think about the war, the politics? I said, the war to me was that I wanted to get back. I wanted to be one of those that came home from Vietnam, and many did not, and many of our friends. And I know he had the same. But when I got back, my head was high and proud. But as he said, I came through O'Hare also, and I was walking without my M16 or a 45 or a bayonet, and I felt naked because I felt like I was in a war zone. It was ridiculous. And now I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I have kids 12, 15 years old walk up to me and says, and I wear my hat proudly, and they say, well, I want to thank you for your service. Let me tell you something. To a vet, that really means a lot.
Sure.
It means a lot, especially to that age group. And now we're teaching our people about what actually happened in Vietnam.
Right. How do you guys work through the pain, the mental pain of war is hell to begin with, but then you're in a war that when you come back to the country where you served, you don't get any respect. And how do you deal with that? What kind of services are out there that help people?
Go ahead, Forrest.
Let me tell you, it flares up every now and then. I'll see something on TV about the war, or especially when I watch the Pacific, and I'm not tagging anything, but watching the World War II in the Pacific. Such a great honor to be a part of that camaraderie, even though I wasn't even born at that time. I was born in 47. But we all have a camaraderie as brothers banded together. and it brings emotions to you. If you ever go to the over to Cape Coral to our vet center over there, where and talk to the guys that are there, you'll see we come together in a special way that I can't relate. I can relate to him that I can't relate to you,
Sure.
because we know how they train us, how they teach us, and how we feel for one another, whether it's Navy, Army, or Marines. It's all the same when it comes to vets. And there's people today with PTS, post-traumatic syndrome, that creeps up on you, and you have to deal with that. And individuals outside of the military don't understand that. And it's real. It's really real.
Well, you get a lot of kudos from our viewers out there that see you guys here on the show, and they're all thanking you for your service. How many veterans actually live on Fort Myers Beach? Do you know? Is it a?
I don't believe there's any way that we've ever taken a census to decide that.
I know,
but they are a lot of us.
I think Ray Murphy's probably, his dad is the oldest veteran on the island, if I'm not mistaken. He's in his 90s, I believe.
Where, how many are showing up today? You have any idea? Or are you just kind of going to run into them at the ceremony? Well, that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah. Yes, so anything else you want to say about your service or the ceremony that's coming up that you want to share with the folks?
If I may, sure.
You may.
I'd like to give you my phone number and my email address, if that's okay.
Just me or everybody?
Everybody. You are the show, man.
No, feel free.
We wouldn't have one without you.
Go right ahead.
My phone number is area code 270-860-4972. And my email address is justshine, JUSTSHINE, @hotmail.com. Anybody, veterans out there that's interested, and especially if you have a finance background, advertising background, I know you've already committed to me. You'll help us all we can, and we do appreciate the veterans appreciate you and what you're doing today.
Wayne?
I just want to say, Ed, that I support your show.
Thank you.
I think you're providing a great service to Fort Myers Beach. Our local politicians may not always feel that way, but hang in there, because I learned a long time ago, politicians are temporary.
Thank you very, very much for saying that. Thank you, Forrest, for coming on. And thank you guys for your service and for everything you've done for the country. And I hope you enjoy the day today down there. And I look forward to working with you, Forrest, on the memorial at Bayside Park.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. A big hand for our veterans, everybody. Very nice. Very nice. Wayne, Edson, and Forrest Critser. And we appreciate them very much. And before we get to our next guest, Louise, I think I got this thing working. I want to make sure that you guys hear what Jim Adderholt had to say on Monday, because this was a key point at the meeting on Monday. So let me know a thumbs up in the box if you can hear it, because I want you to hear what Jim had to say.
There's a First Amendment issue here that we tread on occasionally.